Well, you're about to learn about Joe Biden's mass clemency campaign is going to make your blood boil. We're talking about the largest single-day act of clemency in modern American history. 1,500 commutations and 39 pardons. But here's what they're not telling you. Among those receiving Biden's mercy are Chinese nationals convicted of economic espionage, and a woman who embezzled $54 million from a small Illinois town, and others whose crimes defy belief. Even more disturbing, Hillary Clinton's camp is already floating the idea of preemptive pardons to keep her from getting locked up. Now, this is not justice, my friends. It's a fire sale of American security. And while Biden hands out pardons like Halloween candy, your health and appearance shouldn't get a free pass. Trust BioTrust Revolutionary Collagen formula the same way you trust us to bring you the real news about these outrageous pardons. Just as we're tracking every suspicious clemency case, this formula targets all 5 critical types of collagen for maximum effectiveness. Visit healthwithgary.com for incredible 51% off, plus free VIP coaching, a bonus anti-aging guide, and our 60-day guarantee. That's healthwithgary.com, because your health shouldn't need a pardon. Okay, this is insane. Biden commuting 1,500 sentences and 39 pardons. Breaking news, America.
Fox News alert right now. President Biden granting the largest single-day act of clemency in modern history. Brooke Singman joins us with this breaking news. Brooke.
Good morning, Brian. That's right. So the White House announcing this news overnight. President Biden commuting the sentence of roughly 1,500 people who were released from prison and placed on house arrest during the pandemic. He's also pardoning at least 39 more people, all of whom have been convicted of non-violent crimes. Now, the previous single-day record for clemency was held by Biden's old boss, former President Barack Obama. But today's action is 5 times larger than that. We had heard reports last week that the Biden administration was considering issuing preemptive pardons for a handful of people like Liz Cheney, Anthony Fauci, and Adam Schiff out of fear that the incoming Trump administration could target them. But it appears none of those 3 names are part of this list. Now, this also follows the president's controversial decision to pardon his son Hunter, who faced sentencing this month for felony tax and gun convictions. White House lawyers say those pardoned this morning had all been convicted of nonviolent crimes such as drug offenses, and say they have since turned their lives around. Lawrence?
Yeah, wait to hear about some of these. Nonviolent? Okay, sure. Here's a group of folks that probably need pardons. Awake Illinois says, wake up. Everything they told you about January 6th was a lie. The traitorous J6 committee needs to be held accountable. Adam Schiff, Jamie Ratskin, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, the whole lot of these people, they all need to be held accountable. So I would say I wouldn't be surprised if these people are all on a list. And so Chinese spies. Here's the big question. This is a Muse on X. Pardon? Why is Biden pardoning Chinese spies convicted of economic espionage, defrauding the U.S., and even possession of, well, you see what's on the screen there. And he's going to be doing a full review of everyone he pardons after 120, but he's off to one hell of a start. Economic espionage. Chinese spies. Is this also is payback for China? Remember Hunter was the bagman for China, right? White House spokesperson Joe Biden going to talk with his team about preemptive pardons for allies. That was published 6 hours ago, friends, by Breitbart. This is not going away. This is still being discussed. Preemptive pardons. Now, you remember when Bill Clinton said this? We covered this the other day. Bill Clinton tells The View he's open to Hillary getting a preemptive pardon from Joe Biden. Democrats are terrified because they know they're criminals. They know they abuse their power to persecute conservatives. Dems fear justice. Let's just revisit this for a moment.
Mr. President, Donald Trump will be returning to the White House, unburdened by the pressure of re-election. with sweeping immunity granted to him, I believe, by the Supreme Court, and an alleged enemies list we're hearing. Do you think it would be wise of President Biden to preemptively pardon any potential targets? What about your wife, Hillary Clinton? She apparently is on Kash Patel's list.
For what?
Yeah.
Well, they got a problem with her because first, she didn't do anything wrong.
Of course.
Second, she followed the rules exactly as they were written. Third, Trump's State Department found, they remember how the emails were such a big issue in 2016? Trump's State Department found that Hillary sent and received exactly 0 classified emails on her personal device. It was a made up phony story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, if you watch our last video on this, Comey disclosed it all. And he's trying to deflect right now.
So, I guess if Kash Patel is determined to make one up, he could do it. But I think if President Biden wanted to talk to me about that, I would talk to him about it. But I don't think I should be giving public advice on the pardon power. I think
I would talk to him about it. Bill Clinton would talk to him about it.
It's a very personal thing, but it is. I hope he won't do that.
Yeah.
Trump, most of us get out of this world ahead of where we'd get if all we got was simple justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's normally a fool's errand to spend a lot of time trying to get even.
Yeah, agreed.
But if he pardons them, that sort of implies that they did something wrong, which they didn't.
Mr. President.
Okay, yeah, well, he should be seeking a pardon for himself for all those trips he took to that island. Nick Sortor, Biden just pardoned multiple Chinese spies and an individual convicted of possessing what you see there on the screen. Why? Okay, Yu Yanzhu, Ji Huhuan, and Shanlin Zhen. Okay, 240 months imprisonment, November 16th, 2022. 96 months imprisonment, January 25th, 2023. 97 months imprisonment. Now, there is some context that was added to this post. Biden didn't pardon. He commuted the sentence. Okay, we're going to split hairs. He returned them to China as part of a prisoner exchange. 3 U.S. citizens will be released as part of the agreement. The 3 Chinese persons are not permitted to return to the U.S. Okay, so they're part of a prisoner exchange, but still, one of them possessing those types of images is disgraceful. And, okay, Kanekoa the Great, what are the chances Joe Biden will pardon himself, his brother, or 7 other family members who got millions from China, Russia, and Ukraine? You know, the money they found through 20 shell companies and a total of 9 family members, prompting 6 banks to file over 170 suspicious activity reports with the Treasury Department. See, this huge batch of commutations and pardons and clemency acts are all happening right now. But what's going to happen the day before he leaves office? And we don't have time to sit here and pull our hair out about it, because it'll be over. He'll be leaving the White House. Trump will be going in. We'll be celebrating. And it's going to be a beautiful day, right? Chances are that the most egregious of these pardons and preemptive pardons are going to happen right before he leaves office. So the question is being asked about his family members. All those people heading up those shell companies that was being investigated. I'm willing to bet all those people are going to get pardons. And Juanita Broderick wants to bet that Biden's collecting big bucks in exchange for the pardons. Joe has been for sale for a long, long time. And this here, Charlie Kirk, Karine Jean-Pierre refuses to deny that Biden is preparing pardons for Cheney, Fauci, and is extraordinary. Refuses to deny. If he does pardon them, this will forever mark Fauci as the chief criminal and Cheney as the architect of the J6 cover-up.
some of the names that have been floated around preemptive partisan, since it would just be such an unusual, extraordinary step. We talked about in the news, we've seen Liz Cheney, Dr. Fauci.
You're talking about the preemptive pardoning.
Right. I understand you don't want to get ahead of the president's thinking, but are any of those names wrong or still? Can you tell? I mean, do you want to tell us anything about?
It would be a bad move on my behalf if I preempted the president or previewed anything that the president was thinking about, considering, and so this is something that he's going to talk with his team about. And I just don't have anything beyond that for you.
Some of the names that have
been... don't have anything beyond that for you. Don't want to get ahead of the president or anything. No, we don't. No, we don't. Thomas Massey here. Watch A.G. Garland lie to me under oath for years about whether confidential human sources were at the Capitol on January 6th. Based on DOJ Inspector General's report today, will Garland ask Biden for a preemptive pardon for his perjury? Yeah. Thomas Massey calling out Garland for perjuring himself before Congress.
The Capitol. Okay, I was hoping today to give you an opportunity to put to rest the concerns that people have that there were federal agents or assets of the federal government present on January 5th and January 6th. Can you tell us, without talking about particular incidents or particular videos, how many agents or assets of the federal government were present on January 6th, whether they agitated to go into the Capitol, and if any of them did?
So I'm not going to violate this norm of the rule of law. I'm not going to comment on an investigation that's ongoing.
On that video, that was your answer to a question to me 2 years ago. When I said how many agents or assets of the government were present on January 5th and January 6th and agitating in the crowd to go into the Capitol, and how many went into the Capitol. Can you answer that now?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh, last time, you don't know how many there were, or there were none?
I don't know the answer to either of those questions. If there were any, I don't know how many. I don't know whether there are any.
I think you may have just perjured yourself that you don't know that there were any. You want to say that again, that you don't know that there were any?
I have no personal knowledge of this matter. I think what I said last time.
You've had 2 years to find out.
So Massey's calling out Garland for perjuring himself. Maybe Garland's on the list to get a pardon too, right? What else have we got for you here? Donald Trump Jr., 15 hours ago, asking the question, why on earth would Joe Biden commute pardon a Chinese national in jail for possessing 47,000 of those images? Oh, unless the Chinese Communist Party has a lot more info on the Biden crime family. There's so much more to this that needs to come out. Here's the headline from the Dallas Morning News. Allen man who attended SMU pleads guilty after 47,000 images found on computer. Executive grant of clemency. And he's got it posted right here. Whereas Shanlin Jin was convicted in the United States District Court on indictment of docket X, charging violation section blank for a total sentence of 97 months imprisonment, 5 years supervised release, restitution $30,500. And here it is. This is the whole clemency act that you guys know what Hunter Biden called his father in Hunter Biden's phone. In the contact name for his father. I don't even want to say it. Pete was the second part of it. Okay? So, I don't know. Maybe there's a connection there. Here's another person sentenced to almost 20 years for committing the largest municipal fraud in U.S. history, embezzling nearly $54 million from the small city of Dixon, Illinois. Now, why would Biden grant Rita Crundwell clemency? Here's a story. I'm not sure where this originated from. Looks like a professionally packaged piece, but let's get some background on this.
You completely pull the wool over her town's eyes.
Do you think you were just smarter than everybody else, Rita?
$53+ million is just unbelievable.
She lived quite a life, totally different life than what she portrayed here.
By day, she's wearing municipal clothes, and by night, she's dripping with jewels and furs.
World champion Rita Crundwell.
She had this grand, high-stakes horse empire.
My first thought was, Dixon has that much money that you could embezzle that much money from a little tiny place like this?
People just trusted her so well, more than anything.
Rita, how did you go to bed and not think, whose lives I'm infecting here?
One of the things the FBI wanted to find out was, did she do this alone? Was she hiding for somebody else?
For 20 years, I worked side by side with this woman, and I never knew her. I never really knew her.
All the Queen's Horses. I guess it's a documentary about that whole case. $53 million. $54 million she embezzled. Biden commuting her sentence. And then Laura Logan, what on earth is this? Why would Biden do this? Does the Democrat Party really want to go down in history as the party of that word? I don't even like saying it. It's just incredible. Shadow of Ezra, she quote tweeted Joe Biden granted clemency to Shanlin Jin, a convicted who possessed a horrifying collection of 47,000 images, including videos. Oh, don't even want to read it. But here's here's Adam Kinzinger on Donald Trump vowing retribution. See, let's listen to what he has to say first.
Republicans, I'm afraid that what we're going to get out of this, I don't think Donald Trump is like going to stay president forever or run a third time or anything like that. But I do think there's going to be serious damage to the guardrails of democracy. And by the way, Republicans, if there's a day that Democrats decide to do the same thing to you, you won't have a right to complain about it. So, look, I'm going to continue to fight for democracy. That's my job. I've done it for 46 years. But, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Congressman,
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You're going to be begging for a pardon soon too, buddy. Just like Adam Schiff. Yeah, we played this the other day, but Sarah Rose, Adam Schiff is declining a pardon, saying it's unnecessary. Yeah, he's saying this in public. What's he saying behind closed doors, though?
Do that. I don't think it's a good idea, and I would urge the president not to do that. First of all, I think it's unnecessary, but I also think it's unwise. I don't want to see a precedent where you start to have presidents on the eve of leaving office issuing blanket pardons to people of their own party or of their own administration. That, I think, would tend to encourage people to feel they're not beholden to the law because the outgoing president will give them a prospective pardon. So I think it's unwise policy, and I would urge the president not to go down that road.
Yeah, that's what he's saying in public, right? What's he saying behind closed doors? That's the other thing here. I wonder how much money pardons are going for these days. I bet the big guy gets more than 10%, says Juanita Broderick. Yeah, Rita Crundwell, who embezzled over $53 million from small town. Yeah, she just got one. Amuse posting this 7 hours ago. Joe Biden's on track to pardon more people than any president in history. Chinese spies, horse thieves, relatives, politicians, cartel bosses are all hopeful. And he gives you a list here of all of the people pardoned. Barack Obama looks like had commutations 1,715 and 212 pardons. And it looks like Biden it looks like he's going to hit 2,304 commutations and 709 pardons. Not sure if that's going to happen. This is one of those Chinese spies right there. New York Post publishing the mugshot. Biden pardoning Chinese spies. And here is the moment. Here's another one here. Sandy Fonzo confronted a judge who was part of the Kids for Cash scheme, where two judges were receiving millions of dollars to send kids to for-profit prisons. Her son ended up doing something horrific. Biden commuted the sentence of one of the judges. So Joe Biden pardoning Chinese spies. 1,500 sentences, 39 pardons in one day. And the Clinton family is going to have a conversation with Joe Biden, it seems, but Karine Jean-Pierre still dodging the reality of what's about to hit. So many questions. We're going to continue to cover all this. So the magnitude of this pardon spree isn't just unprecedented, it's suspicious. From Chinese nationals convicted of espionage to domestic criminals who betrayed public trust, Biden's clemency list reads like a who's who of America's adversaries. And now with whispers of preemptive pardons for political allies growing louder, we have to ask, is this justice or is this a preparation for what is coming in the next 38 days? So here's what should keep you up tonight. Who's really pulling the strings behind these pardons? And more importantly, what do they know about what's coming? Share your theories in the comments below about why Pardon's administration seems so desperate to clear the slate before Trump's return. And while we track every suspicious pardon, show your patriotic spirit with our MAG Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, because some things just can't be pardoned.